In a world of endless gadgets and expensive solutions, sometimes the simplest methods work best. These 40 tried and true Amish life hacks will transform the way you tackle everyday challenges. Let's start with one of the most useful healing remedies found in your kitchen cabinet: honey for burns. Much like the Amish community's dedication to natural remedies, using honey for burn treatment is an age-old practice that continues to prove its worth. When you accidentally touch that scorching pan or get splashed by hot water, reach for the honey jar instead of rushing to the pharmacy. The natural antibacterial properties in raw honey create a protective barrier while simultaneously reducing inflammation. It's like nature's very own first aid kit. I once watched my grandmother, who learned this trick from her Amish neighbors, treat my cousin's kitchen burn. She gently spread a layer of golden honey over the affected area and covered it with a clean, non-stick bandage. The relief was almost immediate, and surprisingly, the burn healed with minimal scarring. Change the bandage and reapply fresh honey 3 to 4 times daily for optimal healing. Just remember to avoid using this method on severe burns. Those require immediate medical attention. Store-bought pasteurized honey works in a pinch, but raw honey packs the strongest punch when it comes to healing properties. Coat eggs with mineral oil for preservation. In Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, where Amish families often maintain large flocks of chickens, preserving eggs became an essential skill long before modern refrigeration. This clever technique involves warming mineral oil slightly and carefully coating each egg with a thin layer, creating an airtight seal that significantly extends shelf life. The science behind it is fascinating. Eggs naturally come with a protective coating called the bloom, but washing removes this barrier. The mineral oil acts as an artificial bloom, preventing bacteria from entering through the shell's thousands of tiny pores. One particularly thrifty Amish farmer I met stores over 200 eggs this way during peak laying season. The trick is to store them pointed end down in a cool, dry place, which keeps the yolk centered and prevents it from sticking to the shell. When stored properly, these eggs remain fresh for up to 6 months, though I'd recommend writing the date on each egg with a pencil to keep track. Put bedding sets in one pillowcase. Ever notice how the Amish maintain such orderly households despite their large families? Here's one of their clever storage secrets that's particularly useful in small spaces. Take all your matching bedding items, fitted sheets, flat sheets, and extra pillowcases, and neatly fold them into a compact bundle. Then, tuck everything inside one of the set's pillowcases, creating a tidy, self-contained package that keeps everything together. This simple trick eliminates the frustrating treasure hunt through your linen closet when it's time to change the beds. My aunt started doing this after visiting an Amish bed and breakfast, and she swears it's cut her bed-making time in half. Plus, it's oddly satisfying to open your linen closet and see everything perfectly organized in matching pillowcase bundles. No more mismatched sheets or lonely pillowcases floating around. Everything stays together like a happy little bedding family. Your linen closet will look so organized with little to no extra effort. Make a draft blocker with sand. The winter winds can be ruthless, sneaking under doors and driving up heating costs faster than a teenager can empty a refrigerator. Creating a door snake from sand might sound simple, but this technique has been keeping Amish homes cozy for generations. Start by sewing a tube of sturdy fabric. Old denim works perfectly, about 2 inches wider than your door and about 4 inches in diameter. Fill it with clean, dry sand until it's weighty enough to stay put, but still flexible enough to mold against the door frame. The beauty of sand is its ability to shift and conform while maintaining enough mass to block those pesky drafts. My neighbor swears her heating bill dropped by 15% after placing these homemade draft blockers at her doors. Just don't make the rookie mistake of using beach sand unless you want your house smelling like low tide every time someone opens the door. Use butter, not margarine. Throughout Pennsylvania Dutch country, you'll find kitchens stocked with rich, golden butter rather than its processed cousin, margarine. The Amish have long understood what modern food science is finally catching up to. Real butter simply performs better in every way. When creaming butter for cookies, the natural fats create tiny air pockets that result in perfectly tender baked goods. For sautéing vegetables, butter's milk solids add a nutty, caramelized flavor that margarine just can't match. The higher fat content means better browning and more complex flavors in everything from morning toast to evening pan sauces. Sure, margarine might be cheaper, but as my grandmother always said, the only thing margarine is better at than butter is staying soft in the fridge. And let's be honest, nobody ever wrote poetry about spreading margarine on warm bread. Build a homemade compost bin with wood and wire. While many folks pay hundreds for fancy rotating composters, the Amish approach to composting remains refreshingly straightforward. Building a 3-sided box from scrap lumber and wire mesh creates the perfect environment for turning kitchen scraps and yard waste into black gold for your garden. The key is using 1/2-inch wire mesh that allows proper airflow while keeping out unwanted visitors. No one wants to attract every raccoon in the county to their backyard buffet. The removable front panel is genius for turning the pile and harvesting finished compost. One clever Amish farmer I know built his bin near the kitchen door, making it convenient to add scraps daily. He jokes that his compost pile eats better than he does, feasting on everything from coffee grounds to corn husks. The resulting compost is so rich, his tomatoes grow tall enough to need their own zip code. The only product we'll ever promote on our channel is a book by Claude Davis, a veteran prepper, about 126 superfoods and preservation methods from crisis times like the Great Depression and wartime that are impossible to find elsewhere. We decided to promote his book because we are the last generation able to share these techniques and superfoods to our children or grandchildren. It would be a shame to see this information about highly nutritious foods and preservation methods to survive crises disappear. You can also find a book about herbal remedies from Nicole Apelian on their store. If you're watching this on TV, you can look up our channel, Frugal Solutions, on your phone or tablet and find the books by clicking the link in our channel description or any other video description. Cornmeal or grits for ants? Those tiny invaders marching across your kitchen counter have met their match in this simple yet effective solution. Sprinkle cornmeal or grits around their entry points and watch nature take its course. The ants, being the industrious little workers they are, carry these tasty morsels back to their colony like they've hit the jackpot. Little do they know, they're bringing home their last meal. The grits expand in their digestive systems, creating a natural and chemical-free pest control method. This technique, popular among Amish communities who prefer natural solutions, proves especially useful during spring ant invasions. Just remember to reapply after rain or heavy cleaning. What makes this approach particularly appealing is that it works better than many expensive chemical alternatives, and you won't have to worry about your pets or children getting into harmful substances. Make a bird feeder with pine cone and peanut butter. In the heart of Amish country, where sustainable living meets creativity, this classic bird feeder craft has been passed down through generations. Take a plump pine cone, slather it generously with peanut butter like you're frosting the world's most unusual cupcake, and roll it in birdseed until it looks like a tiny, feathered feast. The peanut butter acts as both glue and high-energy food source, especially crucial during harsh winter months when birds need extra calories. An Amish school teacher shared that her class makes dozens of these feeders each fall, turning it into a community service project. They've counted over 20 different bird species visiting their feeders throughout the year. The pine cone's natural design provides perfect perches for birds of various sizes, from tiny chickadees to bold blue jays. Just hang it from a branch where you can watch the show. It's better entertainment than daytime television. Wet tobacco for bee stings. When a curious bee decides to leave you with an unwanted souvenir, this old-world remedy comes to the rescue. Many don't realize that the Amish have been using moistened tobacco as a natural pain reliever for bee stings long before modern antihistamines hit the market. The nicotine in tobacco acts as a surprisingly effective anti-inflammatory agent, helping to reduce both pain and swelling. Simply moisten a pinch of tobacco, any kind will do, though pipe tobacco works best, and press it directly onto the sting site. Hold it there for about 5 minutes, just enough time to contemplate why that bee had such a bone to pick with you. Once you've removed the tobacco, clean the area with soap and water. My uncle swears this remedy worked so well during his beekeeping days that the bees started targeting him just to get their daily nicotine fix. While that might be stretching the truth, This remedy has stood the test of time in farming communities across America. Add vinegar for fluffier eggs. The secret to cloud-like, perfectly fluffy eggs lies in an unexpected ingredient hiding in your pantry. For every 2 to 3 eggs you're scrambling, add just a quarter teaspoon of white vinegar. The acid in vinegar works like a tiny magician, breaking down egg proteins in a way that lets them trap more air while cooking. This technique has been a staple in Amish kitchens for generations, where making breakfast for large families meant mastering the art of perfect eggs. The result? Eggs so fluffy they practically float off your plate. The best part? You won't taste the vinegar at all. It's like it was never there, leaving behind only its cloud-like texture magic. I learned this trick while visiting an Amish friend's farm, watching her prepare breakfast for 12 hungry farmhands. She claims her scrambled eggs are so light and airy, she had to start serving them in deep bowls to keep them from escaping the plate. Now that's what I call an egg-cellent breakfast solution. Save pasta water for sauces. That cloudy water you're about to toss down the drain, it's actually liquid gold for creating silky, restaurant-quality sauces. This simple technique, practiced religiously in Amish households where waste is never welcome, transforms ordinary pasta dishes into something extraordinary. Before draining your pasta, save about a cup of that starchy cooking water. The dissolved starches act like a natural thickener, helping whatever sauce you're making, whether it's a classic marinara or rich Alfredo, cling perfectly to every strand of pasta. Just add a splash at a time while stirring your sauce until it reaches the perfect consistency. An Amish friend taught me this method during a community dinner, and it's revolutionized my pasta game. This time-tested technique creates a smooth, velvety sauce that would make any Italian grandmother proud. It works especially well with pesto, preventing that annoying pool of oil that often separates from the basil mixture. Use rubber bands to keep cut fruit fresh. Your perfectly sliced apple doesn't have to transform into an unappetizing brown mess within hours. This brilliantly simple solution involves nothing more than a humble rubber band, a trick that's been keeping fruit fresh in Amish communities for generations. When you cut an apple, pear, or any similar fruit, gently secure the pieces back together with a rubber band. This minimal waste approach reduces the fruit's exposure to air, significantly slowing down the browning process that turns your snack into something that looks like it's been sitting in the sun since last Tuesday. The pressure from the rubber band helps maintain the fruit's original shape while creating a natural seal. Store your banded fruit in a container or bag in the fridge, and you'll have fresh-looking slices ready for snacking or packed lunches. You'll be amazed at how such a simple solution can keep your fruit looking picture-perfect for days. Even better, it's a zero-waste solution that costs practically nothing. Deodorize your mattress. Outdoors is when's the last time you gave your mattress a breath of fresh air? Taking a cue from traditional Amish housekeeping practices, the simplest way to refresh a musty mattress is to let nature do the work. On a bright, sunny day, haul your mattress outside and let it bask in the sunlight. The sun's ultraviolet rays naturally kill bacteria and dust mites, while fresh air helps eliminate those mysterious odors that somehow develop even when you're using sheets. Make sure to flip the mattress halfway through the day to give both sides equal treatment. This chemical-free cleaning method has been keeping beds fresh long before the invention of fancy fabric sprays and industrial cleaners. My grandmother swears that a good sunbathing session makes her mattress smell better than a spring meadow, though she did once have to chase it down the street during an unexpected wind gust. Just remember to check the weather forecast first, unless you want your mattress to double as a giant sponge. Add salt to your coffee. Here's a secret that might sound strange. Adding a tiny pinch of salt to your morning brew can transform a mediocre cup of coffee into something spectacular. The Amish, known for making the most of simple ingredients, have long used this trick to improve the taste of their coffee, especially when using less expensive beans. The science behind it is fascinating. Salt naturally neutralizes coffee's acidity and enhances its inherent sweetness. You don't need much, just a few grains per pot will do the trick. During a visit to an Amish farm, I watched in amazement as the host turned what should have been a bitter brew into something smooth and delightful with just a sprinkle of salt. It's particularly effective with dark roasts or coffee that's been sitting on the hot plate a bit too long. My local barista nearly fainted when I shared this tip, but now he keeps a salt shaker hidden behind the espresso machine. Keep potatoes white in water. Nothing ruins meal prep quite like watching your perfectly peeled potatoes turn an unappetizing shade of brown. In busy Amish kitchens, where large family meals are the norm, keeping potatoes fresh looking during preparation is crucial. The moment you peel or cut a potato, pop it into a bowl of cold water. This simple step creates a barrier between the potato and air, preventing oxidation, the same process that turns apples brown. For even better results, add a splash of vinegar or lemon juice to the water. This acidic boost provides extra insurance against discoloration. Just make sure to keep the potatoes fully submerged. Any exposed parts will still turn brown, looking like they're wearing a tiny brown beret. You can prep your potatoes hours ahead this way, making holiday meal coordination much easier. The potatoes will stay crisp and white until you're ready to cook them, whether you're making mashed potatoes for 4 or scalloped potatoes for 40. Rice for salt shakers. Nothing's more frustrating than trying to shake salt onto your food only to find it's turned into a solid brick inside the shaker. This age-old problem has a simple solution that's been used in Amish kitchens for generations. Add a few grains of uncooked rice to your salt shaker. The rice works like tiny moisture-absorbing bodyguards, soaking up humidity before it can turn your salt into a mini sculpture. Occasionally shake the container to keep the rice mixed with the salt, ensuring even moisture absorption throughout. The rice grains are too large to fit through the shaker holes, so they'll stay put while your salt flows freely. My uncle tried using instant rice once. Big mistake. Those little pieces expanded from the moisture and created what he calls the Great Salt Shaker Explosion of 2019. Stick to regular uncooked rice, and you'll never have to perform emergency salt chiseling operations at the dinner table again. Plant marigolds to repel pests. Smart gardeners know that chemicals aren't always the answer to pest problems. In fact, walking through an Amish garden, you'll notice bright orange and yellow marigolds scattered throughout the vegetable beds. These cheerful flowers aren't just pretty faces, they're natural pest control powerhouses. Marigolds release a scent that many garden pests find absolutely revolting, making them nature's version of a no bugs allowed sign. Their roots are especially effective against nematodes, those tiny soil-dwelling worms that can wreak havoc on tomato plants. Plant them around your garden borders and between vegetable rows for maximum protection. These hardy flowers don't just work above ground, their roots release compounds that continue protecting your soil even after the flowers are gone. And unlike chemical pesticides, marigolds actually make your garden look better while they work. As one Amish farmer put it, it's like having a security guard who doubles as a decorator. Boiling water for fresh stains. When disaster strikes and you spill berry juice or tomato sauce on your favorite white shirt, reach for the kettle instead of the laundry supplies. This technique, commonly used in Amish households where clothing care must be both effective and natural, can seem counterintuitive, but it works like magic. Pour a steady stream of boiling water directly onto the fresh stain from a height of about 12 inches. The force of the hot water literally pushes the stain out of the fabric fibers. This works best on natural materials like cotton and linen, and it's most effective on fruit and vegetable stains. Just be careful not to accidentally turn your hands into impromptu tea kettles. Keep them well away from the boiling water. After the hot water treatment, wash the garment as usual. You'll be amazed at how such a simple solution can save your clothes from what seemed like certain doom in the donation pile. Use grass clippings as mulch. Before you bag up those grass clippings from your latest mowing session, consider putting them to work in your garden. Fresh grass clippings make an excellent no-cost mulch that both conserves moisture and enriches your soil. Learning from Amish farming practices where nothing goes to waste, spreading a layer of grass clippings around your plants creates a natural barrier that blocks weeds and keeps moisture from evaporating. As the clippings break down, they add valuable nitrogen back to the soil. It's like giving your garden a slow-release vitamin supplement. Layer them about 2 inches thick, but avoid piling them too deeply, or they might start composting right there in your garden bed. One enterprising farmer reported that his tomatoes grew so well with grass clipping mulch that the vines started reaching for passing clouds. While that might be a stretch, there's no denying that this simple recycling method can cut your watering needs by up to 50% during hot summer months. Brown sugar for bacon. Start your morning with a flavor explosion that combines two of life's greatest pleasures, bacon and brown sugar. While visiting an Amish breakfast table, I discovered this game-changing bacon preparation method that'll make your taste buds dance. Simply sprinkle brown sugar over your bacon slices before cooking. As the bacon bakes, the sugar caramelizes, creating a sweet, salty masterpiece that's practically irresistible. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper. Trust me, you don't want to skip this step unless you enjoy scrubbing caramelized sugar off pans until New Year's. Bake at 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes until the bacon reaches your preferred level of crispiness. The result is a perfect balance of sweet and savory that'll have your family fighting over the last piece. My uncle claims this bacon is so good, his pigs started hiding the brown sugar. But I think he's just trying to keep all the bacon for himself. Hang soap in socks to deter deer. Watching deer munch through your garden can be frustrating, but before you invest in expensive deterrents, try this clever Amish trick. Take a bar of strongly scented soap. The cheaper and stronger smelling, the better, and place it in an old sock. Hang these smelly sentries around your garden, and suddenly those deer will think twice about making your vegetable patch their personal salad bar. The strong soap scent disrupts their sensitive sense of smell, making them too uncertain to venture closer for a snack. Replace the soap every few months or after heavy rain to maintain its effectiveness. You might get some strange looks from neighbors wondering why you're decorating your garden with socks, but when your tomatoes and lettuce survive the season unscathed, they'll be asking for your secret. One gardener joked that her soap sock system worked so well, the deer in her area started using breath mints. But really, this simple solution can save your garden from becoming a deer's dining room. Burn sage to repel mosquitoes. When mosquitoes threaten to turn your outdoor gathering into an all-you-can-eat buffet, reach for some sage bundles instead of chemical sprays. This natural mosquito deterrent, long used in Amish communities where chemical repellents are avoided, creates a pleasant-smelling barrier between you and those pesky bloodsuckers. Light the dried sage bundles and place them in a fire-safe container or fire pit. The aromatic smoke contains compounds that mosquitoes find absolutely revolting, though humans usually enjoy the earthy scent. It works especially well in enclosed outdoor spaces like porches or patios. One bundle can provide protection for up to 2 hours, making it perfect for evening gatherings. My neighbor tried this at her last barbecue and claims the mosquitoes were so offended they sent a formal letter of complaint. But you'll find this natural solution makes outdoor living much more enjoyable without coating yourself in chemical sprays. Preserve herbs in olive oil. Fresh herbs bursting from summer gardens are a blessing that Amish families have learned to extend into winter months through a brilliantly simple preservation method. Take your freshly picked herbs, chop them finely, and place them in ice cube trays. Cover each compartment with olive oil and freeze the whole thing. These frozen herb cubes become flavor bombs, ready to drop into winter soups, stews, and sauces. The oil protects the herbs from freezer burn while preserving their fresh taste and bright color. Each cube delivers a perfect portion of herbs and oil, making cooking easier and more flavorful. The method works beautifully with basil, oregano, thyme, and most other tender herbs. As an added bonus, your freezer will smell amazing every time you open it. Store the frozen cubes in freezer bags once solid, and you'll have garden-fresh flavor at your fingertips all year round. Use coffee grounds as deodorizer. Transform your morning coffee routine into a natural deodorizing solution that would make any Amish homemaker proud. Those used coffee grounds still have plenty of work to do after brewing your daily cup. Spread them on a baking sheet to dry completely, then place them in small containers or sachets around your home. Coffee grounds are excellent at absorbing moisture and eliminating unwanted odors, making them perfect for musty closets, refrigerators, or even smelly shoes. Replace the grounds every few weeks to maintain their effectiveness. They work particularly well in damp basements, where their natural moisture-wicking properties help combat mustiness. An old Amish saying suggests that good coffee works twice, first in your cup, then in your home. Unlike chemical deodorizers, coffee grounds are completely natural and safe for homes with children and pets. Plus, your house will have a subtle coffee shop aroma that's far better than artificial air fresheners. Use old newspaper as fire starter. The secret to starting a perfect fire isn't expensive starter logs or chemical accelerants. It's sitting right there in your recycling bin. Crumpled newspaper, a staple in Amish households where practicality meets sustainability, makes an excellent fire starter for both fireplaces and campfires. Simply roll or crumple the paper into loose balls, avoiding the glossy advertising sections which can release harmful chemicals when burned. The key is to create enough air pockets within the paper balls to allow oxygen flow while burning. Place these paper balls beneath your kindling, and they'll provide the perfect initial flame to get your fire going. One old-timer told me his newspaper collection was so effective at starting fires, his wood stove started subscribing to the daily paper. Just remember to save the crossword puzzle for solving, unless you enjoy watching your half-finished answers go up in smoke. This simple solution keeps old newspapers out of landfills while providing a practical purpose in your home. Use lard for cooking. Before the modern obsession with vegetable oils, lard was the kitchen champion in every Amish household. This versatile cooking fat offers a higher smoke point than most cooking oils, making it perfect for everything from frying chicken to baking the flakiest pie crusts you've ever tasted. Unlike processed vegetable oils, lard contains no artificial additives and, surprisingly, has less saturated fat than butter. When properly stored in a cool, dark place, it can last for months without going rancid. The magic happens when you use it for pastries. The large fat molecules create pockets of steam during baking, resulting in perfectly flaky layers that would make any baker proud. During a visit to an Amish farm, I learned that their secret to award-winning biscuits wasn't technique. It was that jar of pristine white lard sitting on the counter. Homemade bug repellent. Mixing up your own natural insect repellent is as simple as combining a few essential oils with water. In Amish communities where connection to nature goes hand in hand with practical solutions, this chemical-free bug spray has been keeping mosquitoes at bay for generations. Combine 20 drops each of lavender and eucalyptus essential oils with 2 cups of water in a spray bottle. The resulting spray creates an aromatic barrier that most insects find unbearable, while humans enjoy its pleasant natural scent. Unlike commercial repellents that leave you smelling like a chemical factory, this gentle solution works with your skin instead of against it. Store your homemade repellent in a dark glass bottle to preserve the essential oil's potency. Just remember to shake well before each use, since oil and water love to play their endless game of separation. Your skin will thank you for skipping the harsh chemicals, and the bugs will find someone else's picnic to crash. Use apple cider vinegar for hair. Transform your hair care routine with a simple ingredient that's been a beauty staple in Amish communities for generations. Mixing 1 part apple cider vinegar with 3 parts water creates a natural rinse that removes product buildup while restoring your hair's natural shine. The acidic nature of vinegar helps balance your scalp's pH levels, reducing dandruff and itchiness. After shampooing, pour the mixture over your hair, focusing on the scalp, and let it sit for a few minutes before rinsing. Don't worry about smelling like a salad. The vinegar scent disappears once your hair dries. One friend who tried this method claims her hair became so shiny she had to start wearing sunglasses while brushing it. The best part? This natural solution costs pennies compared to expensive salon treatments. Regular use can help detangle stubborn knots, boost shine, and promote healthier hair growth, all without harsh chemicals. Use vinegar for cleaning. Looking at how spotless Amish homes stay without commercial cleaners might make you wonder about their secrets. The answer lies in a humble gallon of white vinegar. Mix equal parts vinegar and water in a spray bottle, and you've got a natural disinfectant that tackles everything from streaky windows to grimy countertops. The acetic acid in vinegar cuts through grease, kills bacteria, and dissolves mineral deposits that cause hard water stains. For tough jobs, use it full strength on toilet bowls or shower heads clogged with mineral buildup. Best of all, it's completely safe for homes with children and pets, though your house might temporarily smell like a pickle factory. My grandmother swears that since switching to vinegar cleaning, even her windows stay cleaner longer, though she suspects the birds just can't stand the smell. Just avoid using it on natural stone surfaces like marble or granite, as the acid can cause damage. DIY Herbal Cough Syrup. When winter colds strike, skip the drugstore and head to the kitchen instead. Drawing from traditional Amish remedies, this homemade cough syrup combines the healing powers of honey with fresh herbs. Mix 1 cup of raw honey with finely chopped fresh ginger, thyme, and lemon zest. These natural ingredients work together to soothe sore throats and calm persistent coughs. Honey acts as a natural antibacterial agent while coating irritated throat tissues. The ginger adds anti-inflammatory properties, while thyme helps relax throat muscles to reduce coughing. Store your mixture in a clean jar in the refrigerator where it'll keep for about a week. Take 1 teaspoon as needed for cough relief. The taste is surprisingly pleasant, unlike those mysterious green bottles from the pharmacy that taste like sweetened motor oil. Remember to always label and date your homemade remedies unless you enjoy playing Guess What's in This Jar with your family members. Use a clothesline for drying. Watching laundry dance in the breeze might seem old-fashioned, but this traditional drying method saves money and makes clothes last longer. The Amish have long understood the benefits of line drying. Sunshine acts as a natural disinfectant and whitener, while the gentle motion keeps fabric soft without the harsh tumbling of a dryer. Hang clothes strategically. Heavier items on the ends where the line is strongest, and similar items together to maximize space. A properly hung clothesline can dry a full load in just a few hours on a sunny day, using nothing but free solar power and wind. Your clothes will smell incredibly fresh with that distinctive outdoor scent that no dryer sheet can replicate. My aunt calculated she saves over $300 a year on electricity by using her clothesline. Though she did have to explain to her teenage son that no, the neighbors won't die laughing at his superhero underwear flapping in the breeze. Grow your own herbs. Starting a small herb garden brings the fresh flavors of an Amish kitchen right to your windowsill. Even with limited space, herbs like basil, thyme, and rosemary thrive in small pots, providing fresh ingredients for cooking and natural remedies. The initial investment is minimal, just a few dollars for seeds or starter plants, but the payoff is huge when you consider fresh herbs at the grocery store cost several dollars per tiny package. These hardy plants need only decent soil, adequate sunlight, and occasional watering to flourish. Snip what you need for cooking, and the plants will keep producing new growth. If your herbs grow too vigorously, dry the extra leaves for winter use. Nothing beats the satisfaction of adding homegrown herbs to your cooking, and your kitchen will smell amazing. Plus, there's something magical about having a tiny garden that fits on your counter. Make your own jam. The sweet aroma of bubbling fruit on the stove brings back memories of busy Amish kitchens during harvest season. Creating homemade jam captures summer's bounty in jars, providing delicious spreads all year round. Start with ripe seasonal fruits. Strawberries, peaches, or blackberries work beautifully. Add sugar and pectin according to basic ratios, then let it simmer until it reaches the perfect consistency. The process is surprisingly simple, though admittedly sticky. Expect at least 1 spoon-licking session per batch. One batch typically yields 6 to 8 jars, making it perfect for gifting or trading with neighbors. The resulting jam tastes fresher and brighter than store-bought versions, with none of the artificial preservatives or excessive sweeteners. Just be prepared for friends and family to start dropping hints when their jar runs low. My neighbor's homemade strawberry jam became so popular, she had to start a waiting list for her annual batches. Natural mosquito trap. Say goodbye to chemical bug sprays and hello to a clever solution that keeps mosquitoes at bay naturally. Fill a large jar with warm water, brown sugar, and a sprinkle of active dry yeast, a recipe that draws from traditional Amish pest control methods. As the mixture ferments, it releases carbon dioxide, the same gas that attracts mosquitoes to humans. Place these traps near doors and windows, but far enough from your sitting areas to draw the pesky insects away from your outdoor gatherings. The mosquitoes, drawn to the CO2, investigate the sweet-smelling mixture and end up trapped in the liquid. One trap can effectively protect about 300 square feet of space, and the solution remains active for about 2 weeks. My uncle set up several of these traps around his porch and claims the mosquitoes got so confused they started leaving apology notes for bothering him in the first place. Just remember to replace the mixture regularly. You're running a mosquito trap, not a science experiment on forgotten beverages. Use wooden utensils for cooking. In bustling Amish kitchens, wooden spoons and spatulas reign supreme for good reason. Unlike metal utensils that can scratch your pots and pans, wooden tools treat your cookware with gentle respect while handling even the toughest mixing jobs. The natural material doesn't react with acidic foods like tomato sauces or citrus marinades, ensuring your food tastes exactly as intended. Wooden utensils also don't conduct heat, so you won't burn your hand when accidentally leaving a spoon in a hot pot. A lesson many of us have learned the hard way with metal utensils. With proper care, a good wooden spoon can last for decades, developing a beautiful patina that tells the story of countless meals prepared. Hand wash them with warm water and mild soap, then let them dry completely to prevent splitting. My grandmother's favorite wooden spoon has been stirring up Sunday dinners for 30 years and counting. Preserve vegetables through canning. When garden harvests overflow their baskets, experienced canners break out their trusty water bath canners and mason jars. Taking a page from Amish preservation techniques, proper canning transforms summer's bounty into shelf-stable food that lasts all winter. Clean jars, fresh lids, and careful attention to processing times ensure safe preservation of everything from tangy dill pickles to garden-fresh green beans. The process requires patience. Rushing canning is like trying to hurry a sunrise, but the results are worth every minute. Each sealed jar makes that satisfying ping sound, like a tiny round of applause for your efforts. Properly processed jars can safely store food for up to a year, though most families find their favorites disappear long before then. A seasoned canner. I know jokes that she measures her garden success not in pounds harvested, but in the number of times she hears her family say, "We're out of pickles already?" Use a wood stove for cooking and heating. When winter winds howl outside, a wood stove becomes the heart of any home, serving double duty as both cooktop and heater. This time-tested method, perfected in Amish communities, transforms a single fire into a multi-purpose powerhouse. The flat-top surface works perfectly for slow-cooking stews, while the steady heat maintains comfortable indoor temperatures even during the coldest months. With proper wood selection, hardwoods like oak and maple burn longest, you can keep your home cozy while preparing meals that would make a gourmet chef jealous. The key is learning to read the fire's temperature by watching the flames and adjusting the air intake accordingly. One old-timer claims his wood stove is so efficient, his chickens started wearing sweaters because they got too used to the warmth. But jokes aside, a well-maintained wood stove can cut heating bills significantly while providing an incomparable cooking surface for everything from morning pancakes to evening soups. Make homemade soap from lye. Creating soap from scratch might sound intimidating, but this traditional craft combines simple ingredients to create something essential. Taking cues from Amish soap makers who've perfected the art of turning basic materials into superior cleaning products, homemade soap starts with careful measurements of lye and chosen fats like olive oil or tallow. The chemical reaction between these ingredients, called saponification, transforms them into gentle, effective soap that's free from artificial additives. Safety comes first. Always add lye to water, never the reverse, and protect your hands and eyes. Once mastered, this process produces soap that cleans better and lasts longer than commercial varieties. You can customize each batch with essential oils or dried herbs for unique scents and properties. The resulting bars need several weeks to cure properly, developing their final hardness and mildness. They say patience is a virtue, but waiting for your first batch of soap to cure feels like watching grass grow in slow motion. Create a root cellar for storage. Converting a basement corner or digging a dedicated outdoor space into a root cellar lets you store produce without electricity, just like generations of Amish farmers have done. The ideal root cellar maintains a constant cool temperature between 35 and 40 degrees Fahrenheit with humidity levels around 90%. This environment keeps root vegetables, apples, and winter squash fresh for months. The key is proper ventilation. You need 2 vents, one low for cold air intake and one high for warm air release. This creates natural circulation that prevents mold and keeps produce fresh. Different vegetables need different storage conditions. Potatoes prefer dark and cool, while onions like it slightly warmer and drier. One farmer boasted his root cellar worked so well, his potatoes started sprouting eyes just to look for more storage space. With careful organization and monitoring, a root cellar can keep your harvest fresh through winter and well into spring, saving money on groceries and reducing food waste. Upcycle old jars for storage. Before tossing that empty pickle jar in the recycling bin, consider giving it a new life as storage. Drawing inspiration from Amish households where waste is minimal and practicality reigns supreme, clean glass jars become perfect containers for everything from dried beans to homemade cleaning solutions. Remove labels by soaking in warm, soapy water, then sanitize thoroughly. The tight sealing lids keep pantry staples fresh and protect against unwanted visitors, both the six-legged and four-legged varieties. Small jars work perfectly for spices, while larger ones can store bulk grains or even serve as impromptu vases. Label each jar clearly to avoid the dreaded mystery container syndrome in your pantry. My friend's organized jar collection became so impressive, her kitchen started looking like a general store museum. Just remember to keep the original lids. Mason jar rings might look cute, but they won't protect your coffee beans from turning stale.